The rest of the tour here is devoted to Sclerotinia management. As you know, we have a very vigorous Sclerotinia management program here at the Carrington Center, focused primarily on dry beans, soybeans, and sunflowers. Okay, we won't talk about sunflowers because there aren't many of those growing in this area anymore. But dry beans and soybeans we will talk about. This year the emphasis is on soybeans, and I do need to recognize the Soybean Council for funding most of this work, okay? These are your checkoff dollars at work, and without that it would not be possible. So first off, this irrigated field behind you is an experiment, and we're testing Contans, which is a biological control. Now Sclerotinia is unusual in that because of its biology, it's a really good target for biological control. Now, Sclerotinia, as you know, starts off with the sclerotia, the resting structures, those little black fungal growths that you see in the diseased tissue. Those fall to the ground at harvest. They get in your soil. When they're in the top 1.5 inches of the soil, and the soil is moist, they'll germinate to form little mushrooms called apothecia. Now, a fungal biologist would lynch me for calling that a mushroom, because it's not. But it kind of looks like a mushroom, it kind of smells like a mushroom, so we're going to call it a mushroom. Okay, and that's your only source of spores. Your diseased tissue does not form spores. Okay, and so if you can apply a microbe to that soil, that'll degrade some of the sclerotia, you'll get fewer mushrooms, you get fewer spores, you should have less disease. Okay, so that's the idea. Contans is a biological that degrades the sclerotia, the resting structures. You apply it to the soil either in the fall or the spring, and it's supposed to knock down your sclerotia. Now, as you know, if you've been here before, we had problems testing this before because we used small plots. So we solved this year by going to plots that are 1.16 acres in size, 225 feet by 225 feet square. Okay, underneath this pivot, it meant we could test fewer treatments, but we were able to test it rigorously now. Our problem here is that the spores move, so if you're controlling your sclerotia in one area, you've got to have a really big area so that your neighboring plot, where perhaps you didn't control your sclerotia, the treatment effect isn't washed out by spores coming in from the neighboring plot. Okay, so I do have some results for you. In this case, we have apothecia results as well as disease results. Yield will be forthcoming, of course. And so first off, these results are consistent for apothecia with what we have seen in the past. We got really good reduction in apothecia with a fall application, in this case 2 pounds an acre. Now this is all conventional tillage. We had wheat here last year, we dissed the wheat, then we applied the Contans, okay, October 21 I think, October 10, and then we incorporated the Contans lightly with a light cultivation, okay, and then in the spring we applied our Contans and incorporated lightly with a light cultivation. Okay, so this is a classic conventional tillage situation. You may see different efficacy with, say, a no-till operation. One of the disadvantages of going to the big plots is that we can't test as many treatments. So you're down to 5 treatments, 5 reps. All we could do in a 35-acre irrigated field. But anyhow, at least it's rigorous. What you'll see here is that disease results correlated very nicely with apothecia results. Notice you get a 20% reduction in disease, where you have the biggest reduction in apothecia. Okay, this tells us that our plots were big enough. We all know, though, that that's not our only tool. Okay, so these disease results and the yield will be taken in the middle of the plots, furthest away from where spores could rain down from a neighboring plot. But in the middle of the plots, what we also did was we applied a subplot. We applied a foliar fungicide, Endura, at the low rate, 5.5 ounces an acre. Now the idea there is 1 pound of Contans is about 20 bucks an acre. Okay, 5.5 ounces of Endura is about 20 bucks, maybe 21. All right. So the idea here is, okay, this is equivalent price. How's it going to stack up? Okay, we tested it in all combinations here. Okay, with Contans, without. But for ease of just the field day, you'll see the full results online. Okay, there is an additive response for sure, but for the ease of the field day, I'm just going to show you the results where Endura was applied on non-treated ground, no Contans. Okay, so that's what you see over here, and what you can see is that it's kind of no contest. Okay, the Endura gave us dramatically better control. Okay, same cost as 1 pound an acre. And now the question is, adding that biological, well, are you going to boost that population of biological and have lasting benefits? I don't know. Okay, I do know that you're producing fewer sclerotia this way. Okay, so I don't know about the lasting benefits. But in this case, a single shot of Endura, timed properly, this is R2 growth stage, about 96-97% canopy closure, i.e. you can still see through that canopy, you can see a little bit of ground right before it really closes up. That's what we did here, and we got much better results. One trial, 1 year, conventional tillage, i.e. one situation, but these are our results this year.